Roman Reigns helps CM Punk. A top champion confirms he will never return to WWE again. Cody Rhodes embarrasses himself in public. Kevin Owens personally attacks Matt Cardona. Matt Hardy admits it's the end for the Hardy Boys. Cora Jade exposes the body-shaming culture in WWE. Vicky Guerrero's WWE return is imminent. WWE officially removes a Judgment Day member from the roster. Dominic Mysterio's love life implodes. An update on Logan Paul after he walked away from a WWE match. Jimmy Uso turns heel and reunites with Solo Sikoa. Let's dive right in. A top champion confirms he will never return to WWE again. John Cena recently opened up about his upcoming retirement and made it clear he's done with in-ring action for good. Currently on his farewell tour, the 17-time world champion has faced off against major stars like Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Now, he's gearing up for a massive showdown with his longtime rival, CM Punk, for the undisputed WWE Championship at Night of Champions on June 28th. 2025. During a recent appearance on Good Morning America, Cena was asked if there's any chance he'd return to the WWE ring after retiring at the end of 2025. The Cenation leader firmly shut down the idea, saying he made a promise to fans to hang up his boots for good and doesn't want to tarnish the special moments he's sharing on this tour. There is no way. I don't want to speak in absolutes because I don't want to close any opportunity, but I made a promise to the fans who have allowed me to be here for a quarter of a century. They allow me to sit with you today. I wouldn't want to disrespect them like that. This is an event that I want when people attend. It's very exclusive. We do geosite merch that I was there stuff is really select and limited. And the moments I share with people, I wouldn't want to ruin that just for selfish gain, he said. In the same interview, Cena admitted he still feels strong enough to compete at WWE's level, but believes it's time to pass the torch. I still look good. I still feel good. I still feel like I can perform at a WWE level, but I also think it's time for me to step aside and let the young talent step forward, Cena said. It's anyone's guess who'll win when Cena faces Punk at Night of Champions, but one thing's clear. Cena's ready to close this chapter for good. Cody Rhodes embarrasses himself in public. Cody Rhodes is one of WWE's biggest stars, but even he can have an off day. At the recent 3-day Fanatics Fan Fest at the Javits Center in New York City, Rhodes had a moment that left him red-faced, and the clip has blown up online. As the main wrestling draw on Sunday, he took part in tons of activities, including a stop at the MLB booth, where he tried his hand at throwing baseballs from a pitcher's mound. While the American Nightmare shines in the wrestling ring, his pitching skills didn't quite measure up. A fan who posted the video on Instagram was heckling him, but Rhodes took it in stride, handling the ribbing like a pro despite his shaky performance. He didn't flop as hard as Tiffany Stratton, though, whose wildly off-target pitch at a New York Mets game 2 weeks ago might be one of the worst in MLB history. Baseball wasn't the only sport Rhodes tackled at the fest. He also swung by the NBA booth, fitting since Game 7 of the NBA Finals was happening that day in Oklahoma City. His basketball shot wasn't much better. He barely bent his knees, shooting from his tiptoes, but still managed to hit the rim, which was no small feat. Some might be shocked that a star like Rhodes isn't a natural at other sports, even though he was a standout amateur wrestler in high school. Fans might have expected more, especially since his dad, Dusty Rhodes, was known for tearing it up on the basketball court, with legendary highlights from a 1988 game. Still, Cody's charm kept the moment light despite the embarrassment. Kevin Owens personally attacks Matt Cardona. Kevin Owens took a playful jab at former WWE star Matt Cardona during a recent chat on Cody Rhodes' podcast, What Do You Want to Talk About? Cardona, once known as Zack Ryder, has been a hot topic since John Cena name-dropped him in his explosive pipe bomb promo on last week's SmackDown. After his WWE release in April 2020, the 40-year-old has thrived on the independent circuit, earning a big following. But Owens called out Cardona for sending mixed signals, poking fun at how he calls himself the King of Indies, while constantly talking about wanting to return to WWE. I love Matt Cardona. The only thing I'll say is, for a guy who loves to be on indies so much, he sure fucking talks a lot about how much he wants to be back in WWE. Can't call yourself king of the indies, and you are going out there telling people, I don't know why WWE hasn't signed me, I don't get it. If I were them, I definitely would have signed me, Owens said. Owens has been off WWE TV himself, sidelined by a serious neck injury from earlier this year. He was set to face Randy Orton at WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, but had to pull out due to the injury, with no clear timeline for his return. During the podcast, Owens gave an update on his condition, sharing that while he's been feeling better lately, his symptoms flared up suddenly last week, and he's now facing surgery. We're waiting till mid-July to do the surgery. Hopefully it's a normal neck fusion. It might not be. We don't know. So since then, I felt fine. My neck's been fine. I'm not in pain. I've no symptoms of what you would expect somebody with a spinal cord injury to have. But in the last week, for some reason, the symptoms all came in one shot, he said. It's unclear when Owens will step back into the ring, but fans are eagerly waiting for the prizefighter's comeback. Matt Hardy admits it's the end for the Hardy Boys. Matt Hardy recently got real about the future of the Hardy Boys, hinting that their iconic run is nearing its close. Speaking on Busted Open Radio, Matt opened up about where he and Jeff stand in their careers, making it clear that retirement is no longer a far-off thought. It's closing in fast. While talking about their current hot streak in TNA wrestling, Matt stressed that they're not just there to coast or wrestle random matches. They want their final years to count. We are having an amazing run in TNA, but someone who is also owed a ton of credit for it is the man that is here in this conversation with us, Tommy Dreamer. I want to give him credit because Tommy has put us in a position to succeed. The Hardy Boys, 33 years in deep. You just don't throw them out like in random matches and say, go nuts. We want a story. And the story of our careers like this is, we know we're not. We're in our last few years and we want to make them as great as they can possibly be. It wasn't an official goodbye, but Matt's words were the clearest sign yet that the end is near for the Hardy Boys. After over 30 years of wild matches, titles, and unforgettable moments, the brothers are focused on crafting a meaningful final chapter. Do you think the Hardy Boys should retire after their TNA run, or do they still have more to give? Cora Jade exposes the body-shaming culture in WWE. Cora Jade is speaking her truth about her time in WWE, and she's not afraid to get real. In a candid interview with Denise Salcido, the former NXT star opened up about the body-shaming she faced while with the company, making it clear she's not out to trash WWE, but she's not staying silent either. When I got released, obviously, I knew I was going to do interviews and you do think about what you're going to say and stuff like that, but I always knew I never wanted to, and I don't have any reason to burn my bridges with WWE. I'm not going to ever sit here and be on a bash WWE tirade and all that kind of stuff, but I did know that I also never want to be one of those people who, just because it was my dream and because it was everything I ever wanted, I'm not just going to come and be fake and be like, everything was perfect and I loved it just because I want them to call me back. Like, that's not the case at all. Jade's confident in her path forward and isn't sitting around waiting for WWE to call. I'm very confident in who I am and what I'm doing right now, so I'm not necessarily waiting for that call. Like I said, if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, that's fine. I'm doing my own thing right now. Her decision to speak out wasn't about anger. It was about being honest. I always wanted to remain real in the sense of like, this is my truth, this is my story, this is what I went through. I'm not sitting here bashing WWE. I'm not talking about them. I'm not sitting here blowing up the internet because I'm pissed off. It's just, I'm a very blunt, real person at the end of the day. And yeah, it was my dream. I did love it. I love my time there. There's so many things I'm grateful for. There were things that pissed me off, so I'm not going to sit here and be quiet and just act like it wasn't, because at the end of the day, I feel like everyone deserves to speak their truth. And that doesn't mean that I'm talking on WWE. It was just my truth. Jade revealed the body shaming wasn't a one-time thing, and said a lazy label in an article about released talent pushed her to speak up. Obviously, I feel like I was very young at that time. And not to say that it didn't happen, on more than one occasion, but I guess my sense in putting that out there wasn't to bash WWE. And maybe it did look like that in a way because I did tweet out of anger at a point, and I think everyone does at some point, which isn't the best. But I did see that lazy, dirty article, and it did piss me off because I was like, if you only knew. But it's just, I feel like if anything, I just hope that me saying something, I'm sure there are girls that feel that way. Every woman feels that way at some point, I'm sure. Someone's saying to somebody right now, who knows? But I hope, all my hope is that by seeing that, maybe someone, I don't know, someone higher up or anybody saw it, maybe was like, hey, that's kind of fucked up. Like, maybe we should not speak on women's bodies. Her goal was to spark change, not drama. My hope is just somebody saw that and put something in someone's head to be like, hey, maybe we should not talk about women's bodies like this. And then maybe I hope maybe another female wrestler saw that and they feel like they can speak up or, stick up for themselves. Because I feel like you should always be able to do that, especially as a woman. I don't think you should ever have to sit down and be quiet and keep your mouth shut out of fear of losing your dream job or something like that. Because I feel like my morals come before anything else. Jade knows speaking out might have consequences, but she's standing firm. I will always stand up for myself and what I believe in and what I feel is right. rather than just sitting down and being quiet. And maybe that's my downfall. I don't know. But, that's just how I am. And I hope by that somebody either realized how they should be speaking to women anywhere, not even just WWE, anywhere. Or I hope that someone, who maybe felt that they're getting spoken to in a way that they feel they shouldn't, that it is okay to speak up. Cora Jade is proud of her WWE run, but won't stay quiet to please anyone. Do you admire her for speaking out, or could this hurt her shot at a WWE return? Vicky Guerrero's WWE return is imminent. Vickie Guerrero might soon be back in WWE, and the timing couldn't be more perfect. Fightful Select reports that the former WWE personality has been telling folks she's set to return to the company in a few weeks. While details on her role are still under wraps, the buzz is growing with WWE's All-Women's Evolution event just around the corner. From 2005 to 2018, Vickie was a standout figure in WWE, managing stars like Edge and Dolph Ziggler, and making her iconic "excuse me" line one of the most infamous in wrestling history. After leaving WWE in 2018, Vickie appeared in AEW from 2019 to 2023, but that move reportedly caused tension with WWE. In her own words, WWE cut me off after her AEW stint. Despite the rocky past, it seems things are smoothing out. She was spotted backstage at a SmackDown taping in September 2024, sparking talk of a comeback. Nothing set in stone yet, but with Evolution approaching and Vickie openly hinting at her return, that signature "excuse me" could echo through WWE again soon. Do you want Vickie Guerrero back in WWE? What role should she take on if she returns? WWE officially removes a Judgment Day member from the roster. WWE has officially dropped a member of the Judgment Day from its roster. Carlito, whose contract was not renewed, has been removed from the company's official website and is no longer listed on the Raw roster page. Instead, he's been moved to the alumni section. Until his final WWE appearance, Carlito was part of the Judgment Day, but he never got to wrap up his storyline, which left him frustrated. He later shared that Triple H wasn't a fan of his character, which may have played a role in his exit. The veteran star is more than capable of thriving outside WWE, but his abrupt departure has disappointed many fans. Around the same time, R-Truth was also told his contract wouldn't be renewed, but massive fan support brought him back. Sadly, Carlito didn't get the same second chance, and he's now officially done with the company. Dominic Mysterio's love life implodes. WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long recently weighed in on the messy romantic storyline swirling around Dominik Mysterio. The Judgment Day star is caught in a love triangle with Liv Morgan and newcomer Roxanne Perez, who was brought into the group by Finn Balor a few weeks ago. While not an official member, Perez has proven her worth to the Judgment Day, but has also been eyeing Dirty Dom, who's currently with Liv. This has sparked some serious tension within the faction. On a recent episode of The Wrestling Time Machine with host Mac Davis, Long warned that piling another romantic angle onto Dominic might be overkill. He predicted the storyline could explode with Dominic cheating on Liv and getting caught, but praised WWE for building it slowly. To me, it'd just be a little bit too much. You don't want to kill it. I think what they're doing now, they're taking their time. They're doing it real slow. And then maybe right at the end there, they'll have some big explosion where one of the girls walks in on him with another girl or something. I think the way they're doing it now, milking it, taking their time, I think that's the way it should be. Dominic is currently sidelined with a reported rib injury, which forced the cancellation of his Intercontinental Championship defense against AJ Styles at Night of Champions, as announced by Raw General Manager Adam Pearce. An update on Logan Paul after he walked away from a WWE match. Logan Paul has been off WWE TV for weeks after getting banged up in a match at Money in the Bank, where he teamed with John Cena against Jey Uso. During the bout, Paul hit a springboard moonsault to the outside, but the move left him with a shin injury that forced him to walk away and take time off. In a recent YouTube vlog, the Maverick gave fans an update, saying his shin is healing well, with the swelling down and the structure improving, though it's still tender to the touch. Despite the pain, Paul's not shying away from the move that sidelined him, promising to bring back the springboard moonsault when the moment's right. So here's an update on my shin, my hematoma. It's looking great, to be honest. The swelling has dispersed itself, and it really hurts to touch, but structurally, it's all good. And let me tell you something I realized about that move. I don't want to give anything away, but I've got to say something. I can do that F move again, bro. That move is devastating for both me and the person I land on. But I will do it again when the time is right, so WWE fans, just know I'm just warming up. There's still no word on when Logan Paul will step back into the WWE ring, but he's clearly itching to make a big return. Jimmy Uso turns heel and reunites with Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa is set to challenge Jacob Fatu for the United States title at Night of Champions, but taking down the dominant Samoan werewolf alone seems like a tall order. To pull off a shocker, Sikoa might get help from an original Bloodline member, Jimmy Uso. Big Jim could make a surprise appearance during the match's final moments, turning heel to help Sikoa win the title. Jimmy has been drifting on SmackDown for months without a clear storyline, despite being a fan favorite. At 39, the former WWE Tag Team Champion still has fans eager to see him shine, and WWE could use Night of Champions to give him a big moment. In the closing seconds of Sikoa versus Fatu, Jimmy could distract Fatu, letting Sikoa sneak in a roll-up to steal the victory. On the ramp afterward, Jimmy could officially join forces with Sikoa, cementing his heel turn and reviving their bloodline connection. Jimmy's no stranger to flipping between hero and villain, and this switch could get fans talking. Adding a seasoned star like Jimmy to Sikoa's side would boost the Street Champions' new SmackDown alliance. For now, this is just a possibility, and we'll have to wait to see what WWE has planned for Sikoa versus Fatu in Riyadh. Sikoa's biggest run came last year as the self-proclaimed tribal chief of the new bloodline, but losing the Ulafala to Roman Reigns earlier this year slowed his momentum. Rebuilding the bloodline with Jimmy could bring back that spark. With Tama Tonga and Tongaloa out due to injuries, Sikoa's only had JC Mateo by his side lately. Rumors are swirling that Hikuleo, who debuted in a SmackDown Dark match a few weeks ago, might join Sikoa and Mateo soon. There's also talk of young bloodline member Zilla Fatu possibly making his WWE debut to join the group. Adding these names could skyrocket Sikoa's presence on SmackDown and cement him as a top-tier star. Roman Reigns helps CM Punk. Roman Reigns has been absent from WWE since the Raw after WrestleMania 41, where Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker teamed up to take out both Reigns and CM Punk. Fans have been eagerly awaiting the OTC's return, expecting him to go after Rollins and his crew to settle their unresolved feud, potentially leading to a massive SummerSlam showdown, but Reigns might have a surprise up his sleeve. At Night of Champions this weekend, during the undisputed WWE Championship match between John Cena and CM Punk, Reigns could make a stunning return by helping Punk dethrone Cena, flipping the script and setting up a blockbuster storyline. This twist could spark a three-way feud involving Reigns, Cena, and Punk, building toward a thrilling triple threat match at SummerSlam. This move would be a perfect way to bring Reigns back into the spotlight and thrust him into the title picture with major matches. It could also set the stage for Seth Rollins to cash in his Money in the Bank contract at SummerSlam, stealing the undisputed WWE Championship and the spotlight in one fell swoop. A storyline packed with these surprises would be tailor-made for a huge event like SummerSlam. This week's Raw kicked off with Rollins addressing the crowd, noting how fans are torn between cheering for him, Reigns, CM Punk, or Cody Rhodes, a sign of WWE's strong storytelling. Rollins took credit for Reigns' success, claiming he's the reason the OTC thrived. On a recent Legion of Raw episode, inside sources criticized the promo, arguing it felt pointless and didn't tie into the night's show. Again, man, it's just, we're doing what we do every week. It's not moving, it's not going anywhere. What was the purpose of this opening promo? Everybody is running for the second place. That's the purpose of the promo? Usually, when I wrote in-rings, it was because somebody had something to say. They had nothing to say here. What do they have to say? It has nothing to do with business tonight. It's not setting up tonight's show. Despite the criticism, fans saw Rollins' words as a clue that Reigns' return is close. Only time will tell what WWE has planned for the OTC and Rollins.